What's up, fellas? I think I may have just built the most powerful Banjo burner on the market today. I could be wrong, but this thing is so powerful I can't even test it. It's boiled over my test pot. So, not gonna happen. And we just blew it the blower. Alright, fellas, so you can see how low the profile of the burner is. We're only about 3 blocks high there. The burner's about as thick as 1.5 of those bricks. This is 3.5 gallons of water I'm trying to boil here, and I gotta tell you, we did this experiment a while back with the Godzilla burner, or no, it was the Dragon burner, and we were not able to boil this tank over like this, and we were running at like 120 kilowatts, but you can see how quickly that happened. There it goes, flowing over already. Alright, fellas, so what's the goal here? What I'm trying to do is increase the power output of this burner from the starting point of 38 kilowatts, which is about 129,000 BTUs, to somewhere in the 300,000 to 250,000 BTU area. My initial goal was to increase the power to 250,000 BTUs. However, we got kind of lucky and we're able to go up to 323,000 BTUs with this blower. I tried it here without the blower, and no matter what I did, I was unable to go past the 50 kilowatt zone. But as you can see with the blower hooked up, we're cranking out 94,000 watts of power right there, guys, in a very tiny spot. And the coolest thing about this burner is that the infrared heat coming off of that burner is far more powerful than the flames themselves. I assure you this. So the low profile of this burner also has some other valuable attributes. It can be slid underneath a very large tank quite easily. And I would imagine this thing could boil 1,000 gallons easily based on what we see today. We were able to boil 3 gallons of water into an overflowing rolling boil in a matter of no time. So pretty impressive improvements with this blower on here. Okay guys, the next 4 minutes or so is just the GoPro footage of start to finish, so we can see how long it takes to get to a rolling boil. 4 minutes and 8 seconds has this thing boiling over the side, so let's check it out. Skip through to see the highlights. Alright, so let's watch this in real time, fellas. I've just fired up the flame. I'm going to run over and turn the blower on. You can see that we have a substantial amount of gas we're working with here. Because it's so bright out, I struggle to see the flame, and I can't tell if we're properly ignited right away, but nonetheless you can see we are already starting to cause some commotion at the bottom of this tank. And any of us who've ever set a pot of water on the stove can understand the frustration of it taking minutes before any activity is observed whatsoever. And we're almost instantly ready to make some hot coffee here. Like, you would literally burn your hand right now if you stuck it in there, I bet. Look at the activity we're getting. And I don't even have it turned up all the way. I'm still kind of messing with it. We have a secondary blowtorch taking place that's kind of burning a little hole out the side of the connection point there, which is unfortunate. And another unfortunate thing is that the blower doesn't survive the test. You can see here I'm kind of trying to mess with it to get it to go on internal combustion. And it's still not lit yet the way that it can be. You can see the flames looking out the side a little bit, or no, that's just heat, I'm sorry. We do have it lit right now, but I know it can be lit higher. The flame is on external combustion more so than internal. We want to convert that to where 85% of the combustion is internal combustion. Right now we're doing a lot of external. I'm just trying to get the flame to go inside the combustor is while we're seeing this excessive outflaming. But you can see here how the excessive outflaming, it's already doing less than what we've seen before. So I finally get it figured out when I walk over here and turn the propane down long enough to put out that internal fire that's taking place inside the air tube. There's like a miniature jet engine going on inside of there. It's kind of messing up the internal pop-off, but I'm going to get it here in a second. I eventually figured it out that the propane tank is so hot from the sun that we're actually at about 160 psi tank pressure. And I've only ever tested this in the 140 to 120 PSI regime. So what I've done now is walk over and turn the tank down just long enough to get the internal combustion to pop off. And once that takes place, the power output potential of the burner goes up probably 50-fold easily. It's just astronomical increase in power. Okay, so I think now we're on par here. I'm going to turn it up, and we should see some incredible activities on this thing. We're only 2 minutes and 55 seconds into it here. So I would imagine had I had the boiler fired up right away, how we have it right now, it would have already been boiling over. There was kind of some jacking around going on there. So we're 3 minutes 10 seconds in, and now I see why sportscasters have a buddy sitting there next to him to chime in every once in a while, because I am just babbling like a madman here. I need a break. But anyway, if my larynx makes it through this test, we're going to see that within seconds we start to boil over here. I would imagine that before we hit the 4-minute mark, I'm almost guessing this tank's going to boil over. We are at 3 minutes 40 seconds. So I really put myself out there. Tough guess, but there we go. We now have a boil. We are at 3 minutes 52 seconds in, coming up on 4 minutes here. I would call that a rolling boil. We just hit the 4-minute mark, so I was wrong. But that is an extreme rolling boil, and we are now boiling over at 4 minutes 6 seconds or so, 4 minutes 7 seconds, and the burner blower has just expired. And but that's good, because it gives us a chance to observe the actual amount of propane that was being combusted in the supercharged condition. Alright, this next couple shots, just some highlights from earlier. You see we're running at pretty high propane pressure there to get this kind of activity out of this burner. Probably at about 300 watts of blower power on that as well. But this thing outdoes this boiling pan. We were unable to test how much water it can boil per hour because it exceeds the limit of the pan. I'll need a bigger boiling container for this thing. Here's a piece of zinc plated 16 gauge steel. You can see it melts the zinc almost instantly, and it'll even cause it to catch fire if you watch this right here. It's pretty neat when zinc burns on metal. It's like sulfur or something. It's weird, but it actually burns with a flame. The vapor pressure of zinc is pretty high for a metal, which is another weird behavior of it at these temperatures. But here's a look at how much gas this thing is burning with the blower off here in a second anyway. I'm just kind of messing with it. Just get an idea of how big the flame actually is. That's with hardly no air at all. But the air causes most of that to be burnt inside the combustion chamber, giving the added benefit of IR temperature that just radiates heat off that thing like crazy. So it can heat a far larger area than just a flame can. Like, you can feel the heat standing right here with this thing. It's a lot of IR heat. Okay, so we had a secondary blowtorch going here. Look at what it did to the rock. Blowtorch shooting out of the bottom of this thing. So that's not an option. I'm just gonna have to weld that thing up. There's no significant color change that indicates there was a whole lot of combustion going past this point, but there was some combustion taking place in here, it looks like. That was pretty phenomenal nonetheless. Bro, what the hell is going on?
I came out like 5 minutes ago to have a cigarette.
This son of a bitch just like landing in the field.
For real. I've got the police scanner on. I don't know. It's crazy.
Why is the siren not on? Like, what the hell? And that's 2 of them we've seen like this. This is bizarre. Is that an actual fire truck?
Yeah, you can tell that boxiness is...
With no lights, with no sirens, I mean.
Right, no sound.
This is not normal behavior. And what did we see? An ambulance going, doing the same weird crap?
We saw an ambulance go by the gas station.
Oh, that is the ambulance.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a different one. No, that's a short fire truck, EMT.
You're right. It might. Dude, that is just not right. And then, look, they asked, they called out for 2 cops. They said, like, Lincoln 87, what's your status? And he said, 1080. And he said, Lincoln 08, what's your status? 1080, which means search in progress. This son of a bitch is coming right at us. Yeah, I don't want him to see me.
Right? I don't want to get shot.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell. Oh, this sucks. They obviously ain't found him yet. Now I gotta stay out here armed all night in case the guy they're looking for